Rise and shine, Value Farm family. Welcome back to another episode of The Farm. We are super excited. It's a beautiful day. We are in Kasanje. We have here a guest today. This is the second time we're hosting someone on the channel. We are super excited. It's amazing to be here in Kasanje. And I would love to first introduce my co-director. Then we shall be able to introduce our guest.
Hi everybody, my name is Grafton. Just happy to be here. I'm excited also, but this is not about me or the maestro. It's about the guest of honor. So please, tell the people who you are.
Okay, thank you so much. My name is Esther. I'm a director and my co-director is not here. Kasanje Practical and Demonstration Farm. We do pig production. We do dairy production. We do chicken production. We've got a parent stock, which is imported. You know, so many people keep chicken and get offsprings that have been produced here, and they use them to create a parent stock, but ours was just imported. So we do also some bit of rabbit husbandry and the different chicken species on free range system.
The farm is impressive, by the way. You know, when we came in here, we're like, okay, there are cows here, you know, there are turkeys, there are guinea fowls. That is amazing. You're really doing a great job at the farm.
Now, one of the main reasons, I'm sorry, co-director, that we actually wanted to come out here to feature Esther. Number one, she's a very honest and straightforward person, and she's really been very helpful and instrumental, and even guiding me throughout the process of our farm growing. So on behalf of the Value Farm family, I want to say thank you. Keep up the good work. But the most important thing about this farm, this is like the best kept secret. And we wanted to feature this channel because we don't want to keep it a secret anymore. Because when you have a farmer that's hardworking, professional, with good breeds, that person deserves to be featured. So that's why we're doing this video. I hope you guys appreciate this. Make sure you leave your comments down below. If you like this kind of content, you let us know. And we'll continue to feature other fellow farmers to actually not just grow our company, but help out our fellow members that's in the field that are doing farming seriously. So once again, welcome.
Thank you. I want to say I'm so grateful. It was a very good recommendation about me. Thank you. It's good really to know that people appreciate when you give them these services. You know, I'm a farmer, but also technical as well. So, you know, it feels good if you're a technical person and you're helping somebody out there and they appreciate and they implement whatever probably you've advised them to do. So I'm so grateful. Thank you so much. Thank you, Value Farm, for coming to visit us. We are so grateful. And also this job that you're doing, you know.
Promoting our farmers.
Promoting our farmers. Yes, I think it's a great job. Thank you so much.
So now, we actually had a few questions for you regarding the kind of pigs that you have here. Okay. And of course, you know, of course we know the difference between an F1, F2, F3. But there are a lot of beginning farmers out there who don't really truly understand. You being the technical person that you are, please educate our future pig farmers out there. Explain the difference between F1 and F3. Okay.
You know, when we go into breeding, we need to understand, as farmers, it's very key. You don't have to be a technical person to understand the basic aspects of breeding. You need to know those basics for you to be a good farmer and even get result out of your enterprise. So now what happens, there is what we call an F, people call it F1, F2, but when we go into too much science, we don't want even to mention about those Fs because they are kind of confusing for some people. So what we have in piggery, we've got what we call a grandparent stock. And this grandparent stock produces what we call a parent stock. And a parent stock in this regard, according to him, that's what is referred to as a F1. And in this regard, when you import a grandparent stock, or when you have a grandparent stock is always a stock of pure breeds. And these breeds, when you cross them, and they were selected in such a way, they were already selected, the research was done. And when they are selected, they looked at the reproductive traits in these breeds. They are very good in reproductive traits. So meaning that they didn't select them for meat, they didn't select them for growth rate and other things, but they selected them for their capacity of being able to give us very good litter size and also having good mothering ability. Yes, for that regard, for the case of grandparent stock. So after that, that grandparent stock, when it's crossed, in most cases we use sometimes large white and landrace because they have good reproductive traits. So when we cross them, we get an F1, according to him. That's what he called an F1. And this F1, we refer to it as a parent stock. And this parent stock, in this regard, in the Ugandan language, this is a Cambra. You know, a Cambra is a cross between large white and landrace. So what they get out of that is called a Cambra. And this Cambra is the F1, and it has a hybrid vigor. It performs better than any of its parents, which parents were the large white and landrace. So when it performs better than any of its parents, you expect it to give a larger litter size, a bigger litter size as compared to any of its parents. And in this general performance, it's really going to perform better in the different traits. So this Cambra, when you cross it at that level as a parent stock, we look for another boa, which boa has now very good productive traits. I was talking about reproductive traits for the grandparent stock. Now at the level of Cambra, I'm looking at productive traits. The productive traits, some boas, this research was already done. They selected boas like Duloc, Hampshire, Petrine. So if you get your Duloc, like we also have Dulocs here.
Yes, we do.
If you get your Duloc, it has very good productive traits. One of them is that it grows faster. It has a very good feed conversion rate. It has a good muscle carcass quality. And these boas that are used as final boas, we refer to them as final boas, terminal boas. They terminate.
Okay.
Yes, you cross them with a Cambra. So these boas have got the capacity, in science we call it they are prepotent. They have got the capacity to stamp their genetics into the offsprings. That capacity is so high. So once you cross them with a Cambra, they are going to get all these good productive traits and pass it to the offsprings that they are going to produce between them and a Cambra. And that offspring goes for fattening. It goes for the table. So now where we've been missing it as Ugandans, this offspring will continue, we call it even breeding, and that's not breeding at that level. Breeding stopped at the other level of our grandparent stock, where we bred and got the F1 and whatnot. And now this is multiplication, we refer to it as multiplication. And I don't know how they call it when we go further and use them to produce again and again. I think what we are doing is not right, because at that level, if you use that offspring that comes out of Cambra and this Duloc, and you use it again to produce, the vigor, we call it the hybrid vigor, all heterosis goes down. Vigor is that ability of this pig to bring out good, to perform well and perform better than any of its offsprings. So now if you further produce it beyond that level, or you further use it to produce beyond the recommended level, that ability dies. You won't get it anymore.
What's amazing here, guys, this is what happens when you bring professionals to the table. I hope you guys have been taking notes. And to put a final point on what she's saying, what typically happens here in this wonderful country of ours, a lot of people are selling you diluted stock. That's what she's saying, right? Where literally they're supposed to stop at a certain level. And once you dilute that genetic pool, the offsprings are supposed to go they're supposed to be grown from start to finish to go to the butcher. You can have your porkers, you can literally just grow them for meat. But for some reason, a lot of our fellow farmers out here, they're not the most ethical. They don't really keep notes. They don't keep records. So then they're just gonna sell you, oh, this is a pure this, and there's no such thing in this country. Very few people actually have pure genetics. She's actually on a very exciting project. Hopefully she can share that with you guys when she's ready, right? As far as where she's going with her program. I'm just so grateful for you and the knowledge
Yeah.
that you are importing to the viewers out there, and of course even to us here.
Thank you so much, Esther. And what I also wanted to really ask you, like in the country like Uganda where we are right now, where do you think people can really get those best genetics from? Are there like government farms that people can go to? Because you know we're just getting things from different farms. Someone can convince you, you know, this is where you can get F1, but the actual F1s are not the actual, you know, breed that people are looking for.
Now to start, maybe a little bit, let me talk on behalf of government. The government through National Animal Genetic Resources Center and Data Bank, this is NAGRIC and DB, they imported the grandparent stock I talked about. It's not very easy for the farmers to import. It's damn expensive, very, very expensive. So for the government can afford. They imported it, and the purpose was to streamline breeding. You know, you would not recommend to farmers that do ABC if it's not in place.
Yeah.
If you want the farmers to do the right thing, tell them the right thing and show them where to get the good genetics and what they can use to do that right thing. So they imported a grandparent stock, which grandparent stock is going to produce the Cambra. Now we've been importing. People have been flying out of Uganda and using a lot of funds, spending a lot of money in terms of transportation and buying to go and import a Cambra, but now government is producing it in its farms. NAGRIC is going to produce it at its farms, but still me as a farmer also, I've tried, because I'm technical, I don't have the money, like government, I don't have too much to do, but then at least I try to do what is right. To a level I can manage what is right, and I also sell breeding stock, very good breeding stock, because we've done this for some time, and farmers have bought a good breeding stock, and they have not complained. They have not complained, despite the challenges of maybe feed fluctuations, which is a common issue now, and it's affecting all of us as farmers.
All of us.
Yeah, but if it was not for the case, you try to get good genetics, and you know, in this genetics we look at the ability to grow, the growth rate, the feed conversion rate, and you make sure that you produce a product that if somebody takes for fattening, your pig can weigh 130 kilograms within 6
months
to 7 months. And it's ready for slaughter. It has reached market weight. Because if somebody is keeping a pig which is going to keep for years and it can't put on even years, it's frustrating. And you know, even the middlemen are going to take advantage of you.
That is true.
But you know, and maybe for the fair farmers, I would like to recommend, you know, right now it's understandable at this juncture. The cost of feed has been like that for a long time, that most people have run out of production. They have decided to sell off their animals. But even those ones who have persisted, there is a little bit of a setback, because really you can't sustain the way it was before. But then I would also like to urge you, let's not compromise nutrition for profit. This is where we've lost it as farmers. You know, yes, we are trying. It has affected us. It's not the same, but don't completely compromise nutrition for profit.
You know what? That is actually tremendous advice, I would have to say. And for those of you who actually follow us, you guys know we always tell you guys, even though sometimes it gets challenging, it gets difficult. Yes, getting into piggery is actually expensive, right? But if you're in it, even in the hard times, you try to hold on, you know. But we understand not everybody have the proper planning or have the financial stability to be able to weather unexpected feed fluctuations. But for those of you who held on, missed a few meals, right? Maybe missed a few shopping sprees on the weekends, you're actually gonna benefit on the long run. And it's very important what you mentioned in terms of the feeds, because you know, if you're a farmer out there wanting to grow your stock for commercial, they can't survive on just matoke peels. They can't survive on you giving them leftovers.
True.
Because at the end of the day, you're gonna grow a product that's gonna be fatty, that's gonna take too much time to grow, and it's really not worth it. It's not sustainable in the commercial market.
And actually, what you're saying is just right. And I've tried to advise farmers, because in this hard period, they call you. They are like,
They want to give up.
Yes, they want to give up. And they're like, Musao, doctor, what do we do? What do we do? We are giving up. What do we do? Can you get us some feed? Sometimes they ask you whether you can get them some feed. And you just imagine, you're going through a very rough time, and somebody wants you to buy for them, and you can't even understand. And these farmers probably, they sourced genetics from somewhere. And now we are going back to the right genetics. If again the genetics we have is not so good, in this hard period, it challenges you even more. But if you have good genetics, you can try to maneuver with the nutrition. I've always advised them, despite the fact that they have other things to use for supplementation, they can give it, like potato vines and others. They can give it, but they don't complete it. Some of these things we use for supplementation, they lack some nutrients in them. So as much as you give them, you give, but you don't completely eliminate this, the total mixed ration. So what you do, you can give the other supplements. If you've been giving 2.5 kilograms in a day, instead of giving 2.5 kilograms, at least give 1.5. Or give 1 if the worst has come to the worst. But which is a complete feed. Complete feed. So that this pig gets the nutrients it doesn't get from the other, from this complete feed, to just take you through this period. And when the period, the things get better, you go back to the right thing to be done. You know?
That's actually sage advice. Believe me, we actually, I empathize with you guys out there, especially like, because we have a decent amount of pigs at our property, at our farm. When you're feeding more than 230, 240 pigs, and you're spending, more than like 1,800 for maize bran that you used to buy 250 to 300 shillings. And when that number comes unexpectedly, and it lasts at least 2.5 to 3 months, many people can't hold on to that rope. So for those of you who have weathered the storm, congratulations. And for those of you who actually experience setbacks, that's a part of life.
That is part of life.
Use this moment as your 8-second count. Like any other thing, business is just like being in a prize fight. Sometimes you're gonna get one on your chin, you're gonna have to go down on one knee, but as long as you don't lay on the canvas, you can take 8 seconds. Whether in real life, it could be 8 weeks, it could be 8 months, but don't give up. You get back up, you plan appropriately, you come back and you continue with the right genetics. And that's why we're here. That's why we're here. And even though like we know and we do a ton of research, I think the greatest thing in life is to know what you don't know. And that's why we're always looking to seek out those who have that knowledge base, who have the experience, the technical expertise to help both educate us so we can in turn educate you and then ultimately bring you the source directly. So that is amazing advice. Thank you very much.
So, Dr. Esther, what best advice would you give to a beginner farmer out there so that they don't lose hope? Because I know feeds have been really crazy, the prices are up there, but they really want to start. What advice would you give to the beginner
with the
farmer?
outbreaks of African swine fever as well? I know African swine fever has been one of the challenging issues in our pig industry, and it has discouraged most of our farmers. So, to a farmer, the advice I would give to a farmer who would wish to start a piggery enterprise, you start small.
We always preach that.
You start small. Don't, because these animals are very prolific. They multiply very fast, and their gestation period is very short. And they take, piggery is one of the enterprises where a pig will produce twice in a year. By the end of the year, it's pregnant the 3rd time. We call it farrowing index. So then, if you're to start, if you have, we take 5 pigs to be already commercial. somebody in Uganda who has 5 pigs, that one is a commercial farmer.
Yeah.
These are 4 females and 1 male.
One male.
That's a commercial farmer. So now what we're saying, if you're starting, you start with about 3 or 2 if you're a very small farmer. But if you can afford 5, then you start with 5. And you know, as you start with young pigs, they don't consume a lot. They don't eat a lot. It is still less feed that their consumption is still a little bit low. And you won't feel it actually. It's better at that level when you're raising them. You plan for the other level, that yes. And before you go into piggery, I would like to urge out farmers, you have your target. What is the target? You have the plan. If you can come up with a business plan, please do it.
Yes.
Write your business plan. You should have a target, you should know where you're going, and you should have an objective.
Yes.
What's your objective?
Yes.
Are you going to achieve this? And after having your objectives, you let down the strategies of achieving it. And then if the strategies, if you want to say like, I want to have 50 pigs. So in your objectives, the strategies you're going to lay out, you will know when do you want to reach the 50 pigs and how are you going to reach the 50 pigs. If I start with 5 pigs, they are going to produce twice in a year, and each one taking an average of 10 piglets. So how many piglets are these going to be? And how am I going to deal with the inbreeding? How am I going to deal with the nutrition? How am I going to deal with the health issues? How am I going to deal with the housing? Do I want 50 pigs? How much housing do I have? So how much housing do I need to be able, you know, you start small and we don't begin big. We all started, for example, I'll give them an example. We started with about 3 sows, they were pregnant, we bought them. And we bought 12 piglets plus 2 males. So, you know, you don't start big, you start small, and the farm grows slowly by slowly. Otherwise, you might start big and you get frustrated out of the journey, I mean on the journey. And some people are working in offices where they can get good money. And probably they have not hustled so much to get this money. So once they get out of these offices, they can't sustain the farms. But then it's very important that you as a farmer, you challenge yourself to do your farming, to start a business which you can manage with or without that other income. Yes.
Wow, that is really
That's why we can survive in this period.
That's true.
wow.
So circle back to what we always preach to you.
Yes.
Having a proper plan, right? Starting small, but thinking big. And also being proactive, seeing around the corner. You know, don't be a reactive farmer. You must always be proactive. You understand? Plan for your feeds. You know, those of you that have enough land, if you can actually lower your cost by growing your own maize, those of you, you know, grow your own soya, whatever you can do. But we always tell people, when the most common phone calls we get, well, I want to start a pig farm, I want to buy like 20 piglets. We always tell people, you know, even though we want to make the money, but can you handle that? Because 20 piglets out of the gate, you know, you're looking at over 100 pigs basically before you can blink, right? So you have to plan accordingly, because as Dr. Esther mentioned, you can start big. You can come into the fight, into the arena like a lion and leave like a lamb. You don't want to be the one getting slaughtered on the floor, you know? So you have to plan accordingly, be resourceful. Do not be a proud farmer. And what do we mean by that? Don't think your pride is gonna be so high that you can't call a fellow farmer for help, or you can't reach out to other people to assist you.
Okay.
Right? So Tina, what do you think?
I feel this has been really, I know it's a long video, but at least there are really key points there for us to learn from. Genetics, guys,
Is everything.
is everything. If you really invest in good genetics, you're going to really enjoy this.
Well, genetics and dealing with an honest farmer, which we always preach.
Exactly.
You know, because most people, when you get to their farm, even if they know that there are genetic defects in the animals, they will not tell you. They will still sell you their pigs that they know they can't grow themselves, right? But they're gonna try to pass that on to you. So that's why we always reach record keeping,
Yep.
Yeah.
dealing with honest, trustworthy people. We know it's hard to come by, so be patient. Go to trusted sources.
Sources. Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's what we really preach to them as well.
So now
And honesty is a key to a successful business. You know, you don't have to first make your farmer, you know, if you're honest and you do what is right for your farmers, they'll always keep back and they'll send others to you.
Exactly.
So that's very key, and it's I think it's very core to any farmer or to any business.
Exactly.
Be it farming or any other.
That is so true. Guys, I hope you've learned one or two things from this video. We are still here with Dr. Esther. We are going to have a tour. There are other things we may, of course, discuss along the way, and we shall, of course, share with you guys, because, you know, we are here for you guys. We share ideas, and we are not selfish people to keep everything to ourselves. But I hope you guys learned something. Leave your comments down below what you think about what we discussed. Are you a beginner farmer? Are you ready to start as well? Leave your comments down below, because we really want so many of you to really join us. We want youth out there to also start projects. You know, you don't have to sit at home, you know, relaxing, waiting for jobs that you've really applied for. Do something for yourself as well. So you can also start a pig farm. You know, start small but think big. You know, it is capable. You're capable of doing everything by yourself. But I really appreciate Dr. Esther. I appreciate my co-director. You know, coming here with us to share all this with you guys. But please do not forget to also go and check out our social media platforms. That is, you know, on Instagram, that is Value Farm UG. Then also Facebook, Value Farm as well. Yeah, go check out the behind the scenes. We are going to be here. We are going to share behind the scenes of, you know, this farm as well. So go check us out, and also do not forget to share with your friends. Tell a friend to tell a friend, and do not forget to subscribe to the channel. Till next time.
Bye.
Bye-bye.